everyone, this is Supratik here. In this video, we are going to discuss the preparation strategy for mental ability in NTSE Stage 1. So the video for mental ability will need a lot of time, so I have divided the video into 3 small parts. So this is the part 1 of those 3 parts. So let's start. Today I am using this board because mental ability cannot be explained just by saying. I would have to say a few things about the chapters or topics and also explain a bit to you and also discuss the types of questions which may be asked in mental ability. I won't be teaching as such, but I will just be letting you know the types of questions which can be asked in mental ability. So let's get started. So the first topic in mental ability is series. So series has many different types of questions. It has sequence of numbers, and what they will do is they may give you the first terms like something A, B, C and D, and they may ask you what is missing here. So let's say it's E, so that will be the missing term. Also it can be given in terms of numbers numerically, like there is 4, 9, 16, 25, and then this is 25, and the next number here is 36, and what will be the next number. So this is simply the sequence of the squares. So 4 is 2 square, 9 is 3 square, and 16 is 4 square, 25 is 5 square, 36 is 6 square, and the next term in this sequence will be 7 square, which is 49. So this can be asked in series. And also what they may do is they may give you the preceding terms, the succeeding terms, and they may ask you the 2 middle terms. So that is the type of question in series. Now series also has questions related to figures, like they may give you 2 figures and you need to observe very carefully and then see that which figure will be the answer, which figure will be the next correct figure in that sequence. So it can be based on numbers, it can be based on letters, it can be based on words, it can be based on figures. So that is about series, which is the first topic. Now talking about the second topic is analogy. Analogy is a very logical type of question. The types of questions in analogy are like there is some quantity capital A, it is related to some quantity capital B, and the relation between these two is same as the relation between C and quantity X. Now you have to find out this X. Here it can be D, here it can be anything other as well, depending on the type of question. And usually analogy is not that tough. Again, in analogy there is numbers as well, there is letters as well, there is words, and figures is there. So questions based on figures and analogy, and those things I will discuss later in a broad topic called as problems related to figures. So we have discussed series and analogy. Moving on to classification. Third is classification. Classification is related to series and analogy. If you are able to solve series and analogy questions, you must be able to do classification as well. So what usually happens in classification, you have let's say a bag of items. The bag of items, let's say there is a capital A, there is a capital Z, there is a capital B, there is a capital Y, and there is, let's say, a capital P. So which is the odd one out here? So let's say P is the odd one out, so that will be the answer. This is the type of question in classification. Also what they may do is they may give you a bag of many items, and like many things are there, many items, and then they will ask you that how many of these terms or how many of these items are not following the order or are not following the overall classification, why these things have been clubbed up together. So, and that is the type of question in classification. There can be other types of modified questions as well. So usually it's not that tough, it's related to series and analogy. In some books what they do is they give these 3 topics in one chapter. In some other books what they can do is they can give analogy and classification together. but I've discussed these separately. Now moving on to the fourth topic is blood relations test. Now, it's direction sense test. Now direction sense test is also easy because it is very logical. Suppose the type of question in blood relations, direction sense test, maybe here you have a point P, here you have a point R, and there is a point Q. You are moving from P to Q, then again from here there is a point S moving to R. Now they may ask you that what is the direction of your final destination with respect to your initial position, or what is the direction of your initial position with respect to your final position, or they may give you some data here to you and they may ask you that the distance between P and R, the distance between Q and R, the distance between P and Q. So these are the types of questions in direction sense test. It is not that tough because it requires basic mathematics. In some tougher problems it may require the use of trigonometry. Usually it does not require the use of trigonometry, and that is direction sense test. This is the next topic, the final topic for the part 1 video, which is blood relations. Usually blood relations is more about thinking about how you can relate to your family and how you can relate things in that question. Suppose there is a person whose name is Raju and he is related to his daughter's cousin whose name is Meena, and there can be different terms given in that, and usually we can relate because we know those terms. We know what is uncle, aunt, knowing about nephew, niece. If you are in very junior classes and watching this video, you may not know about nephew and niece. Learn those terms, what these are. And again, blood relations is actually not that difficult, but what makes it difficult is they will give you lots of information and try to make you all jumbled up. Like you'll get confused that how much, so many things are given there, how will we identify it. But there is a technique for blood relations test. This is kind of a tip or trick I am giving you, is that when you are solving blood relations question, try to make this. The family tree or the generation, which is there. This is first gen, third gen and fourth gen. So suppose this is somebody here, it has been given, suppose father, and here it is given mother, and here it is given, let's say, daughter of somebody or something. So try to jot it down or solve the problems in this type of questions. Earlier I didn't use this method, but it becomes difficult not using this method, and this is the easier method of solving the relation questions. Now here also one thing is, if you write father, mother, it takes up a lot of time. In the exam you don't have time, especially in stage 2. So do one thing, like for father use the short form, just write FA. For mother write MO. For daughter write DA. For son write SO or something like that. And suppose for uncle you write UN. For aunt you write AU. For your nephew you can write NE. For niece you can write NI. For cousin you can write CO. So like this. So this is the tips and tricks for blood relations, and this is the correct method of solving blood relations. You'll be able to do it faster. So that is all for the part 1 video. Next I'll be doing the part 2 video as well.